Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's your girl Jordan, of course, and I'm glad you're here. As you can see, this video is not like set up like how a vlog usually is. I'm sitting down at my little desk vanity situation that I have in my apartment. But this video is going to be a chit chat get ready with me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time because I love to yap. Let's get right into it. I am actually getting ready for work. I have work at 9:30. Well, I'm supposed to be going to work an hour early today, so I have to be to work at 9:30. I'm gonna leave here at like 9, so that gives us 45 minutes to have a little yap sessions. I'm going on my first solo trip for spring break, and y'all are gonna see that. But I'm really happy and I'm proud of myself because I was one of those people that like after COVID, I had like really bad social anxiety. I did not know how to really talk to people or interact with people anymore, and I've always been like pretty like socially anxious and awkward. After COVID, I feel like it was 10 times worse because I really was not forced to have to talk to anybody. Like, even when it came down to like graduation and stuff, like even prom, like I would literally like get so scared because I hadn't talked to anybody and I didn't know what to do. It was bad, but since I came to college, like, I feel like that has slowly started to go away. On my job, I have to talk to like students like, on a daily basis, so that has really helped. And then literally just like, going to clubs and stuff like that and like, talking to people and being on e-boards and stuff. But I'm really proud of myself for going on this trip by myself because I've really been trying to prioritize like learning more about myself and the things that I like doing and stuff like that, because I started to realize that like I may have like a little bit of low self-esteem stemming from like, other things in life that we're not going to get into because we're not getting that vulnerable in this video. I really needed to figure out like who I was and like what does Jordan like, what does Jordan like enjoy doing, what are her interests and things like that. I'm just flat ironing my hair. In order to make this video longer, I'm going to put my hair in sections and flat iron it. This year I really wanted to prioritize my mental health and learning about myself. I really wanted to prioritize me. So I started therapy this year. This is my first time getting a therapist like on my own in like my adult ages. So it's a very different experience, like unpacking like, everything, and like this whole transition period is different of going from a teenager to being 20 years old. It's very interesting because like, I'm an adult but I still feel like a child. So that's really been interesting, and I wanted to bring that up with you guys because I wanted to point out that like, it is very important for you to like fall in love with yourself first and get to know yourself, because it can be very easy to like want to have like a friend group, or you want to be in like a lovey-dovey relationship with somebody, or you want this, you want that, or you just get caught up in like everybody else and like neglect yourself. But you need to show up for you first before you can show up for anybody else, and you're gonna treat people based on the way you treat yourself. And if you're neglecting yourself and not loving on you, then how do you expect to fully be able to love on other people? It's very important, especially at this age, because this is when you start building those like lifetime friendships. You're entering your 20s and stuff. Dating gets real, especially if you want to get married and stuff like that. There's so many things for you to learn about yourself, and I don't know, I feel like me going on this solo trip is like the perfect thing for me in the space that I'm in right now. Y'all know I do all my own maintenance. I did my wig. Mind you, this wig is like months old, maybe like 6 months old. For some reason I'm like, I'm going to a different country. I want my hair to look tea. My hair is so flat. I braided down my own hair. Learning how to do things yourself, like doing your own hair, doing your own nails, is honestly a flex, because only thing I'll never do is my own braids or my own like trim. That's too scary for me. But literally me learning how to do things on my own and like downsizing the amount of money I spend on maintenance every month, one, has helped me to save a lot more money, especially like when you go to college in a different state and you have to find hairstylists or somebody on campus that does hair and nails. But then you kind of get to a point where it's like, I could just do this myself, because classes get busy, you start having a job and stuff. You don't always have the time to like go get your nails and sit down and do this and that. Like, you could just do it on your own time. I can link the brand that I use for my nails below, but they're BT Art Box nails. These the short, French, and pink. But nobody talks about how, like, when you get older, your mindset shifts a lot. Like, there are certain things that I've wanted to buy that I had to tell myself no, because in the long run, like, would it have been worth it? And I was like, do I need this right now? Or would it be better for me to, like, save money or pay off a credit card? Or would it be better for me to prepare for retirement right now instead of, like, spending this money on something I don't necessarily need, but I feel like I need it because I think it's not going to be there when I actually want it, when it's always going to be there. I was so used to, like, spending money. Like, yes, I save very well. Like, I save money very well, but I could be saving way more if I spent way less. And that goes back to me cutting out going out to get my nails done and stuff like that. I try to, like, cook more so than I eat out, and I also have a meal plan, so that helps. Also, like, I've realized that when it comes to building relationships with people, and this is not just romantic, this is friends too, they are work. Like, building relationships with people are work. And I think me starting my, like, faith walk, because I'm Christian, if you guys were wondering, me starting my faith walk with God has really taught me that relationships are built and they have their ups and downs. You guys have to talk about stuff. You have to make up and stuff like that. Not you. Like, okay. The Bible says that we should reconcile with people, but that doesn't mean if somebody's disrespecting you and crossing your boundaries constantly that, like, you, like, stay their friend or stay in that relationship. No. That's not what that means. But you can be, like, respectful towards people. But even if you're in a friendship with somebody but y'all get into an argument about something, especially if you are good friends or you actually have a relationship and not, like, some surface level whatever, you should be able to talk to them about what they did that bothers you and y'all can, like, figure it out, instead of it being some petty argument and it ends up with y'all not being friends, because that's childish. And it's the same thing with, like, romantic relationships. Like, you guys have to both be mature enough to work on yourselves to better the relationship, because everybody needs some healing. And when it comes to, like, any relationship in general, like, it takes work. You're not always going to agree with your friends. Your friends aren't always going to agree with you. You're going to be mad at them. That's just life. That's just how things go, you know? So you shouldn't expect your friends to be just like you or want to do everything just like you. And that's another thing. You do not have to have the same interests as your friends or, like, as the person you're dating. I feel like compatibility is way more than just, like, y'all like the same things. And wouldn't that be boring if y'all were copy-paste of the same person? Because y'all were never, like, helping each other grow or expanding each other's palettes or, like, introducing the other person to new things. That's just kind of, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. When people feel like they have to be exactly like the other person, like, oh, we don't have anything in common, so we shouldn't be friends, or, like, I don't think we click. And I'm guilty of this too, because I've had times like that. I'm like, I just don't think we're gonna click, and my mom's just like, you never know. So that was a mind shift that I had when I got older, because I was like, not everybody gonna be like you, and why would you want to have people around you that are literally just like you? That would literally be annoying, because that comes with a whole other set of things. Because if they're like you in the good ways, what if they're like you in the bad ways too? Exactly. Y'all aren't pushing each other to help each other grow or elevate at all. And that's another thing. You need to be okay with not being friends with people or not having people in your circle that are helping you grow. If you're in a situation with somebody where it's a friend, a relationship, whatever, and you're, like, staying stagnant, you really have to take a step back and reflect why are we not growing or pushing each other to grow. We're just staying stagnant. We're not really, like, growing at all in any type of way. We're just like, we should be always elevating and growing and learning new things and pushing each other to grow. And you should not be putting all your effort into pushing somebody else, especially because if you're putting all your effort into pushing somebody else to be better, whether it's a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, you're always, like, pushing them to be better and they're not pushing you. Now you're putting all this energy into pushing somebody and you're growing, but especially if they're not pushing you either, that means that they're technically not growing. So you're, like, trying to push them to grow and grow and grow, but they're really not growing because they don't have that desire to. Because if they had the desire to grow, they'd also be pushing you too. That was a word. That was a word. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the way friendships and relationships, like, do not take this as just friendships, because people will be really quick to cut off friends that's not helping them elevate without even looking into themselves first on, are you helping them elevate? The point is, in relationships, you should always be pushing each other to be better. Boom, 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 boom. It should be push, push, push. And if you're constantly like pushing up on somebody, trying to get them to be better, they really aren't getting better, because one, all the motivation is coming from you, not because they actually want to grow. So they're not really getting better. So you're always staying stagnant. You're releasing all this energy to push this other person, and you'll get to the point to where you're growing so much to where y'all are growing apart instead of like growing together. This is a push and pull thing in relationships. Clock that. But yeah, another mindset shift that I've had is that I have like realized that it's actually extremely exhausting living everywhere but the present. Like, that is like the most exhausting thing ever, to always be living in the past or living in the future, or trying to figure out what's next, what's my life gonna look like, or going backwards and like dwelling on things that happened in the past. Look, the Bible says, I'm not gonna quote it like word by word, but the Bible pretty much says that you should not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow has troubles for itself. Worry about the now. Worry about today. Focus on what God has placed in your lap today and just keep it pushing. Because once you, like, yes, you should be curious about your future or plan for your future, but you should not worry and be anxious about your future, if that makes sense. Or you should not be guilty or dwelling on the past. Especially because if you're a Christian, you have been forgiven, and you don't need to dwell on all that stuff. Like, you should be learning from them, moving forward differently, but do not dwell on them and think to myself like, oh my gosh, I'm such a horrible person, da 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 da. Mind you, I'm clocking myself right now. So don't think I'm just talking to y'all. I'm clocking myself right now. My last mindset shift that I had that like may come off as crazy is I really had an issue with taking accountability for things. I don't know. I feel like sometimes as girls we can like assume that we're not the problem and it's just men. Men just ain't this, men ain't that, men like just aren't But sometimes we need to heal, and we go into situations not being healed. And this applies to friendships too. You go into relationships not being healed and things start messing up and you just think it's the man, but it's like, I think a lot of times we think to ourselves, this man isn't catering to the broken parts of me, and he's not fixing the broken parts of me or holding the broken parts of me up, so it's all his fault. When really it's just like, no, in the perfect world, you would have been healed before you got into that situation, for one, or at least on your healing journey before, because healing is like a lifelong process in my opinion. In a perfect world, that's how things would have been, that's the order of things would have went, but I think sometimes we gotta step back and realize that us not healing our toxic traits, our toxic habits, and all these things, like, they are built over time, and it's also up to us to fix it. Once somebody tells you about yourself, or you realize yourself, the issues that you have, once you make that conscious decision to just push it down and not think about it, that's on you, because you knew and you're aware, you're very self-aware of the fact that you have something that you need to work on. And if it keeps affecting your relationships, that's a you thing, and you have to take accountability for it. It's nobody else's job for you to like, start getting the healing and help that you need except for you. You're the one that needs to put yourself in therapy. You're the one who needs to talk to God more. You're the one who needs to let God work on you. It is nobody else's responsibility for your healing journey except for you. You're the only person that can work on yourself. God can work on you. But my point is that this is nobody else's fight, nobody else's journey, nobody else's process except for you. And sometimes you have to look in the mirror and be like, And even when it comes to friends, certain attachments that we may have to friends and situations, or the way we operate in friendships, can stem from other things, can stem from past friendship trauma. And it's like, sometimes you have to look at yourself and be like, has this person ever done me wrong or done this to me? Okay, so then why am I treating them this way, or treating them like they're my enemy or something like that? But my whole thing is that you get to a point to where once you're aware of like the not so good parts of yourself, or your bad habits, your toxic traits, once you realize those things, it's up to you to fix them. Nobody else is going to do that for you. Nobody else is going to pull the trigger for you to go to therapy or go do this or go do that. You have to work on yourself. You have to learn to love yourself enough and care about yourself enough to work on yourself, because to be honest, having bad habits and toxic traits and being unhealed and being broken takes way more energy than actually being healed. Yes, it hurts because you have to unpack stuff and stuff like that, but like going through the process, you get to really be very proud of yourself and see like every way that you're growing, all the things you're learning about yourself, and how you were different a month ago than you are now. And like that is much more rewarding than you being comfortable and walking in like your brokenness. If we're being completely honest, like, being broken takes a lot more energy, a lot more mental strength. Not even mental strength, takes a lot more of your mental, takes a lot more of your emotions, and all these things more than working on yourself does. I got a little bit preachy. I'm glad you guys sat and chatted with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you want any more sit down talking videos like this, if y'all want to hear me yap about life stuff. I love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I love you, and bye.